Hello. Welcome to the Torah of Shem. Mamish. Mamish Gewaldig. Mamish Gewaldig. Torah of Shem, as we're calling it, is really one day that are going to say about the Yeshiva of Shem and Aver 2.0 as it started here tonight with you guys. The Wednesday night class really has morphed from Job, and Job, as we were seeing, never went away, really. It's all the same thing. We're just kind of defining, realizing what it is. So it became the discussions of the Torah of Shem, and Torah of Shem really is Yeshiva night. Welcome to Yeshiva night. That's really what it is. And we can talk about issues. We go over text, right? It's Yeshiva. And yeshiva is kind of random and yeshivish, and you go over stuff, and that's what it is. It might be one night I do a monologue for an hour. I don't know. I like the Rashi verses myself, but the bottom line is it's learning Mishlei style, like on Tuesday night. But Tuesday night we don't dare open any other book than Mishlei, one or two. You don't mess with the Zohan in Mishlei class, right? It's Mishlei. If you think we're doing something else, you got another thing coming, right? You may actually get hurt in the process. That's our little arena. You don't get involved if you're not involved. But here we open the doors, welcome all newcomers, right? It's a little bit more intelligent, meaning we don't have our own little codes going on. We probably should refrain from our little codes. But Tuesday night, it's all code, right? If you can't if you can't use the right key to get in, then stay out. I didn't invent that; it just kind of ended up being that way. But here we are. It's Yeshiva night, okay? And I think the idea is every Wednesday night's different, right? Anybody can come on any Wednesday night, and you don't really need to know what happened last week. You just need to be here, and whoever's here is here, right? And we have a project to do every week. We'll make it a one-class project. It'll never be a 1A, 1B. And that's how that is. As much as I said that, it's a bit of a story because last week we did the Vilna Gaon series. I taught you guys how to pick apart a gra. Eric Bryan. Cool. Everyone give a round of applause to Eric Bryan. He finally found out where the pause button is on his MP3 player. Way to go, Eric. Many more pause buttons and rewinds and fast forwards to you. He learned how to pick apart. He learned how to pick apart a Vilna Gaon. And I taught you guys, what I was thinking into it, but that was based on the fact that I had already done it. So this week, here we are. We're here, and we're gonna pick it apart together, right? There's no more rewind, fast forward. You are the rewind, fast forward. People are gonna pick apart the gra. When I do that, hopefully tonight I'll do the recording. All right, they're going to be hearing your mochin and your words that are going to make this class, right? So it's like in kindergarten when you went to the place and you got to make your own pizza. Remember those days, right? You got to make your own dough, put your own pepperoni on, and you made your own pizza. So today you're going to make your own Vilna Gaon Mishnah soundbite to Evan Shleiman, and hopefully you'll be able to pick apart everything you can in your own learning. That's my job. Let's see. So David Dome says he's coming. And Malcolm says, what yeshiva? Shame on Malcolm. Shame on Malcolm. Shame on Malcolm. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Let's give him that link. Or wait a second. Are you guys open for a possible plan B? If Malcolm comes. Hold on. Wait a second. I just got a pretty cool idea. Hold on a second. Hold on. Here's the big question. I'm asking Malcolm if he wants to do our Mishknei Elyon class here with everybody. He's at work. False alarm. Oh, sorry. Would have been a good idea. But I really like that class. Lars, you probably like it too, right? You're into that one, right? Who's into that one? Who? Travis, listen to it. All right, cool. Yeah, I like it too. I like it too. I wish Malcolm and I had a better time schedule to do it more. It just doesn't work out. But that means that you guys are destined to be the Vilna Gaon crew. All right. Here we go. I wish you guys had text, but you don't. So therefore, you got to rely on me. My job is to teach, read, translate, bring the commentaries, get you involved, to get you thinking. You guys ready to start thinking? All right. Be ready, please. Okay. Be ready for the 1s and 2s. Stay sharp. Do not wait on me to say type. If you have something to say, you say it. This is not my usual monologue, right? Here I will, it's class. We're all in class. This is yeshiva night. So if you have an answer to a question, type it. I don't care if you type 40,000 things. Type it. Just do what you got to do. We're all here together. All right. Here we go. All right. So again, the premise is it's the Vilna Gaon series on YouTube. So it doesn't require week to week. People I don't think know that, right? But you don't have to have it week to week. Each one is its own little world. Eric Bryan, give me 1 or 2 on that. There you go. You don't need to know the previous week. When I translate, I don't assume you know anything, as in the Mishlei class, which is the opposite. Right? If you don't know what Moron Man is, you're never going to figure it out. Mishlei class, Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Israel. So here, you don't have to have any prerequisite knowledge. You have to have a brain, an ability to communicate on a low level, and an ability to push, rewind, and pause on an MP3. Outside of that, everyone's on the same page. Let's go. Shnei Mekaymis Begehenin Shucha Amuka Lechemda Bishvil Sharatza Lahagbia La'atzmo Ver Tsar Lataiva Bishvil Sharatza Laharchiv Nafsho Hefcham Bekedusha Vehir Kav Ticha Al Bamasei Aretz Achal Ticha Nachlas Yankiv Nachla Bli Mitzrayim, or no, Mitzarim. Sorry about that. Mitzarim, Hefich Aber Tzara. All right, we're just reading. What I do when I unpack it, again, this is not the only way you can learn. This is just a style for a book that I have developed in doing this project. Right? Basically, the point is, whatever you do in text, your job is to just figure out the purpose of the text, how you connect to it, how you want to do it, okay? If you're learning Chumash, everybody tell me how you would learn Chumash. Don't wait, just type it. Tell me in the chat bar how you learn Chumash. Go ahead. Let's go. Let's see some bubbles pop up. Let's go. How do you learn Chumash? Type it. What do you do? Don't tell me what you don't say what you think I want you to say. Tell me what you do. Your Shabbos table, whatever you're doing, what do you do? Read, repetition, look for patterns. Cross-reference. Sit in thought. How many of you use Rashi? Why did you guys not say that when I asked you? How many of you guys use another commentary? Any commentary? Which commentary? Lars, yes you do. You send me images of it all the time. Zohar, of course you're going to say that before. You send me images of that too. Depends on the passage. Bala Torah. Books with varied ideas from different guys. I'm guessing that's a euphemism for Ari Khan. No, but that's he's one of the guys that I like to learn from. And I know you're friends with him on Facebook, David. And he actually has. And as I said, I know you're friends with him, and he's one of the better, like modern kind of guys on the Parsha. That's why I say it. So he's just I call him one of my guys. So when you said guys, he's one of my guys. Yeah, so the idea is like this. Everybody's got you see what's going on here? Everyone's got their style. You got your book. You got your parsha, right? You see, you have it's a chachma. You guys see how you're using your chachma? All right. Now, I'm going to give you a really crude and crass, let me think, what's the word? We learned it last night. I don't know if it's an analogy or a metaphor. Pardon me. I'm really confused on what to call it after last night. But I'm gonna give you a mushal, okay? A really crude mushal. And it fits good because I just realized something else also. On the Torah of Shem class Wednesday night, I'm going to teach from principles of Torah of Shem. Is that not cool? I just thought of that. That makes total sense, right? To use Torah of Shem wisdom in the learning of Torah that we do in order to convey how the Torah of Shem works. I'm really liking Wednesday nights. This is a lot of fun. You know, let the mind, everybody that knows me on my Skype sessions, this is what we do. But in the classroom, it's just much more powerful, right? And look who's here. Look at the names that are here, all powerful people. You might not think you're powerful, but you are. All right, here it goes. So my mother used to live in Las Vegas. Now she lives in the next room over in my house. Bless her heart. And, I used to visit Vegas through the years to visit my mom. I was never into it that much, but my mother lived there, so what can you do? So one day I was talking to my mom, and I, in my Torah of Shem wisdom kind of mode, I thought, what is the story with gambling in Vegas? Like, how does it really work? Because, on YouTube, you can get a video for anything, right? How to eat a Klondike bar in under 30 seconds. Do you think that's a video? I double dog dare one of you guys to check right now on YouTube to see if that's a video. How to eat a Klondike bar in under 30 seconds. Please report if that's an actual video. The point is, it could be a video, and everything's on there. So I decided, Travis, so help me if you come back with that link, I'll tell you. So I looked it up, how to effectively gamble in Vegas. Now, what's the interest? Why am I asking? This is the answer. How many of you guys have been to Vegas? No, you're not. Please don't tell me this. Do not tell me this. Please don't let this be true. All right, you guys that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Way to go, Lars. Way to go. Anybody, Eric, you been to Vegas? All right, cool. So Eric, I'm gonna make you my guinea pig here. Ready? In fact, Eric, can you grab the microphone? Eric Bryan, not Gavur. No microphone. I'm coming in and out on your end, Travis. Does anybody else have this problem with me? So I'm not sure. We've been having really bad weather, so it could be that. Really bad weather. It's like nasty. All right, so let's try to deal with things. It's very, very bad storms. Okay. When guys go to Vegas, again, just speaking off the cuff, it's like we'll use blackjack as the analogy. Everybody knows what blackjack is. 21. It's a common game. It's not even a Vegas game. It's just something you play with your friends. You're gonna go and let's say your boss gave you free stay at the hotel, and your mom lives in Salt Lake City, right? And you said, I'm gonna go to Vegas for a weekend. You can imagine the concept, right? It doesn't have to be a gambling guy, right? You can imagine the concept exists, right? A guy who has family in Salt Lake City, and someone gave him free vouchers to go to Vegas for a weekend, one or two, just to keep it real. And he says, you know what I'm going to do? I got this style. Right? I know what I'm doing. When I was in high school, I always got 21. Didn't I always get 21? Didn't you guys play with me? And I always got 20. I was like the guy that always did. Always. I'm practically the blackjack. So when I got there, I've scoped out the room because I know what I'm doing. Don't I know what I'm doing? I'm looking around. I'm like, I know this. Of course I know this. I mean, I'm practically cooler than John Travolta. I know what I'm doing. And by the way, as I give this analogy, think in your heads of all the times that you guys do this in Moron Man, right? Whatever it is. You know, playing darts with your friends, going bowling, right? You actually believe that you are a professional bowler when you go bowling, don't you? Or how about shooting billiards with your friends? Like, I can put so much English on the ball. Of course I can run the table all night long. And then, you know, I mean, we've all had that moment. We've all had that moment. Exactly. Of course I can win the whole game. I know exactly what to do. So it's the fantasies of the nefesh. And he looks around the room and he says, you know, I think this table's the one. I feel it. I sat down and I gambled $1 and I won right away. So this is obviously the table. And this is the only table that has 4-legged stools. So that's the lucky sign. Isn't that the lucky sign? When you find a 4-legged stool in the room, isn't that how you know you're going to win? Especially when you win your first hand? All the Mishigas we tell ourselves. Yetzer hara, right? And the bottom line is God has mercy on this lemichel soul, right? And he has, let's say he might even win $20 at the end of the night. Or he's ahead 100. He's going to go back to home and say, hey, I figured it out. I won. I came out over $100 on top. I know what I'm doing. I got this style. You know, I know that you sit on the edge of the table, not in the middle, because the guy in the middle is going to get a, what do you call that? When you go over the limit, whatever it is, right? Of course he went over. And then it like sets me up for a perfect victory. He busted. So then I have to win. Isn't it logical? I mean, I know how to practically count cards. And all the waitresses come on the edge. So it's easier to get free drinks on the edge. Because if I'm in the middle, she has to say, well, you know, excuse me, what are you drinking? And it's harder. So yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. It's tactics. Bad. This is men, right? You know, moron man in the most literal sense. One or two. We've all been there. We've all been this guy, unfortunately, in some capacity. Okay. So now when you go to YouTube, the real story, because there is a real story. How many of you guys heard my show with Rod Bryant and Ira on the witchcraft about a week or two ago? How many of you guys heard that? So I'm now giving you the exact same story, but just a little different. Okay, I spoke about a carnival, how to get ripped off in a carnival. How many of you guys have ever been ripped off in a carnival? In the basketball game or whatever game, like break the plate, whatever it is. How many of you guys have been to a carnival and been ripped off and never won the oversized polar bear? So here it is, how to not get ripped off in Vegas. So apparently, this is not something I've ever done. It's what I heard about on YouTube, but I understand the wisdom of it. Again, even if it's not true, you understand the point I'm trying to convey. A Vegas gambling floor is like a weather report, right? There's clouds, there's sunshine, and there's a weather report. Good, and that's my term. I'm making up that term. A good weather report is you want to use a 5-deck table. Right? There's 1 deck, 3 decks, or 5 decks. And the odds go up dramatically at 5 decks. Let's say in this given room, 10% of the tables dictated by the floor manager will have 5 decks. Everybody else, either 1 or 3. Give me a 1 or 2 if you can confirm what I'm saying right now, just in terms of understandability. Then to compound the situation, you want to have a 5-3 payout as opposed to a 2-1 payout. I don't know what that means. All I know is there is a 5-3 is a better ratio of odds than 2-1, says Vegas. Okay, this is just like says Vegas. So I'm shopping, okay? I need to find a 5-deck, 5-3 payout, 1 or 2. In a room of 100 tables, 4 of them, unnoticed, unmarked, will have that ratio by the floor manager's dictation, and only he knows. 1 or 2. Everybody else is 1 or 3 decks and a 2-1 payout. Correct? There's 5,000 people in the room right now. Only the ones that find that ratio have a strong wisdom mathematical chance of winning. Meaning that you know you're going to win. Not because you got the lucky chair with 4 legs, 1 or 2. Now you can't look guilty or they're going to throw you out. So you got to look cool. You got to be like Fonzie, 1 or 2. If you're coming there with your briefcase and your calculator, they're going to throw you out, and they do. So you got to be cool. Smoke a cigarette, have a glass of whiskey, 1 or 2. Put your collar up, right? Take off your wedding ring, all the little things they do, right, in Hollywood. And you go up to the very attractive dealer, and you say, hey, just, out of curiosity, how many decks you got on this table? She says, oh, we got 5 decks. Oh, isn't that a coincidence? Is the payout's probably what, 5-3, right? Yeah, 5-3. Once he does that, he knows how to be Fonzie. He sits down. He has $500 to play because he knows he's going to win. As long as he sticks to certain rules, right? Don't be radical. Certain rules. He will mathematically come out ahead, let's say 75% of the time. Correct? He now won $5,000 and he got free comps for the next trip. That means he can come back for free and he made $5,000. Now, the goal is not to win $1 million because that's already beyond odds. You need to double down insane. Your job is to be like your work paycheck. By the way, people in Vegas gamble for a living. I know that for a fact from my mother's experience living there, right? My sister still lives there. They gamble for a living because they know how to do it. It's like the stock market. You understand what I'm telling you here? It's not a guessing game. It's not even a Vodazora in the traditional sense at this point. It's punch in, punch out. Punch in, punch. It's tactical, 100%. Now it's it. They count cards. Now it's a lowly existence. It means you're getting drunk every day. You got to drink the whiskey. I mean, it's a low existence. But you will go in with $500 and walk out with $5,000. I know people that have done it from my family friendships, and they're not bad people per se, but it's Vegas. Okay. The point is, do you understand how the wisdom works? Right? You go in there with a wisdom. It's not a random guessing game. And to bring it back to Job, why was I a horrible wrestler? Because I had no idea how to wrestle with wisdom. I went out there thinking that would win, right? Doing the haka, like the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team, right? That's me. Haka, haka, haka. It was horrible, right? Now, when you watch it as a fan today, you see that the kids that were good, they have wisdom. They know what they're doing, right? I mean, look at high school football, right? The teams that are horrible, just like, hey, throw the ball really far and hope to catch it and jump really high. The teams that are good have wisdom, skill development. That's 100%. I had none, like 0. Big 0. The technicians win every time. It's not about who has the bunch of Neanderthal kids that are strong and fast. That's a fallacy. It's the kids that treat the sports like woodshop. How many of you guys took woodshop in high school? Right? You know those kind of guys that took woodshop that were really good? The guys were like, I remember my freshman year, these guys made like a grill from splitting a big barrel in half. They made like stuff. They were skilled. And that's how guys treat sports that are good. It's it's like a craft. My point is, so now let's go back into holiness, okay? Let's be done with the shtusim. Learning Torah is a wisdom and a craft, right? You got to know what you're doing. Don't just go, right? Know what you're doing. You got to know what Rashi is here, right? If you have a class you're preparing and your class wants pshat, right? Are you going to learn the Baal Turim? No. He's not your pshat guy. I want something really fun, Travis. I want you to lead my group, and I want fun stuff. I don't know what that means because I don't know how to learn Torah. But can you bring me something fun? Travis says, I'll bring you the Baal Turim. Right? It's a lot of fun. Gematrias and letter permutations. Don't worry, it's a lot of fun. I want something like really parable, Travis. Can you teach me something from the parables and the Parsha? Yeah, it's called Midrash. No problem. Right? So when you're going to attack the Torah, you got to know what the function of the tools you're using do. What are you trying to achieve in the verse? You follow what I'm saying? Don't just go in screaming tough guy, strong guy, fast guy. Know what you're doing. And you may be the inventor of what you're doing. Okay? I want Eric Bryan to teach a Chafetz Chaim Lashon Hara class once a week. What is he going to do? He's going to go by the Chafetz Chaim. Okay? And then he's going to open it up. He's going to think about it and say, what's the best way I can make this thing fun today? And he's going to realize that Shlomo Carlebach, I'm making this up, Shlomo Carlebach wrote a great commentary on Lashon Hara. Didn't he, Eric? Didn't he? So you went out and bought it, and you're like, hey, everybody I know loves Shlomo Carlebach. So he says, look, Lashon Hara, don't speak bad about people because it's bad. And Shlomo Carlebach has a great idea. He said once upon a time there was a guy named Bob, and he didn't speak bad about Jim, and they became best friends ever since, and they played a song on Erev Shabbos. Did you know that? So that's the idea. Meaning, don't be afraid to develop your craft. Don't be afraid to buy the books. Don't be afraid to put your style together. Don't be afraid to learn a style of the classics. One or two. There we go. Now we're ready to jump inside. So we're doing Evan Shlema. I don't think there's a proper translation of Evan Shlema. I've only seen it translated once, but they called it Evan Shlema. And we're on chapter 3, verse, I don't know, again, we call it Mishnah, call it a Sif. There's no thing to call it. It's just called letter Vav, Os Vav. But can you really learn the craft and appreciate the work without learning it in Hebrew? Yes and no. Eric Bryan, can you please send a private chat message to Gevora about proper prayer while I'm teaching? One or two. All right. Gevora, look for Eric Bryan's private text message about prayer that sounds like, why, as opposed to the Shemona Esrei. Eric Bryan, one or two. Can you please convey that message as per the Skype conversation yesterday? One or two. Thank you, sir. Okay. So now when I approached this with my little series, I started this series because of Russell Kirk, realizing that the book is broken up into little sound bites. Right? And you see, each video I do is only about 1 minute to 3 minutes long, and they're very, very edible, bite-sized paragraphs. So for me, it's a great learning experience to learn it, 20 minutes a day in the Hebrew. Hebrew is preferable, okay, Gevora? In terms of refinement, it's a pyramid. At the very top of the refinement, it's Lashon HaKodesh. At the very bottom base of the pyramid, it can even be in Swahili. We realize that the words themselves are good enough. The words themselves tell the Vilna Gaon story. And I bought a really nice print. Rule number 1, never, ever, 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 ever settle for a bad print if you can help it. But if your name is Gevora, you might want to buy a limited edition Zohar circa 1500. Right? I do appreciate those pictures that you send me, Gevora. I really do. I'm always a fan of people who are book collectors. I'm a shtickle book collector myself. Gevora, are you with me over there? There you go. I do appreciate it. I know Gevora likes to buy very rare books, and it's a special gift that he has. I appreciate that. I also do. Anything positive about books is all good. But if you can get a good print, okay, don't settle for a bad print. I don't know if that matters so much in English, but if you get to the point in Hebrew, if it's an extra, I'm going to be bold. Even if it's an extra 50 shekels or 100 shekels, okay, buy it. Do not buy that. Do not torture yourself. If it's a difference between 50 shekels for the standard version versus 250 shekels for like the special classic da-da-da-da-da-da, do it. Unless it comes with a commentary you don't need. Then that's called what we call in English a ripoff. It exists everywhere. But the reason why my print here is really great is because it comes with what's called the Kutei Gra, that they brought in the margins the commentary of the Vilna Gaon from everything the Vilna Gaon ever wrote. So, for example, chapter 3, Sif, or letter Vav, right? Anything connected to this topic the Vilna Gaon ever wrote, they're bringing it in the margins. So that's why it's a great book. And I bought it because I love the Gra. When I'm putting together the class, you can imagine now what I do. One or two. Go over the Gra in a clean, clear print. It's a pleasure to learn in the Hebrew. Then take notes of what's going to go in the class. Don't be afraid to take notes. Then in the margins, I learn every word. Obviously, don't leave anything out. Go over the margins, learn the whole thing, and now I'm prepared on the front burner of my brain. Right, Space Ghost? Nothing better than being prepared for the test. When you're prepared for the test, because it's all in the front brain, that's when you translate. All right, just tell you what I do. My style. I sit down with a notebook and pen, and I really care about the words I use as opposed to my lectures. As you know, my lectures, it's free-flowing consciousness. I don't write it out beforehand. Whereas Chaim is the opposite. He writes everything out beforehand that he ever says. Here, if you notice, I use my words I use carefully in the recordings. I am very careful with my words to convey what I want to say. And for that reason, for the stupid answer, why do I sound like an alter yid when I do my recordings? And that's because you really need to hear my falsetto voice more than you already do. And for the Rabbi Miller, it was a joke, and it turned into kind of a shtick, which I like to do. My videographer got me on the Rabbi Miller, so when they come good, I do it. By the way, you guys want to hear the Rabbi Miller of the day? I printed it out, and I didn't do it yet. One or two. You guys want to hear this? Yes or no? Here we go. I've not looked at this yet. I printed it out, and I didn't have time to get to it. I don't know if this is going to be a recording every time they come in. I don't know. It depends on if I think it should be recorded, if it's offensive. Sometimes they're offensive to the non-Jews. So here we go. You guys be the judge. Ready? You guys want to be the judge? Yeah? You guys are going to determine whether Rabbi Miller gets on today? The seeds know what to do. Simcha Minute by Rabbi Avigdor Miller. Once orange seeds fall on the ground, they know what to do. The seeds are bitter to discourage you from eating them together with the rest of the fruit. These thoughts about the orange are but an indication of the elaborate planning and design underlying the whole world. The intent in the creation of the orange is not only that you should enjoy the orange, but that you should learn from it the greatness of the Creator. Thank you for listening. Be well. Isn't that cool? That's Torah of Shem right there. Is he not Torah of Shem? I mean, is Rabbi Miller not like the coolest guy you ever found in your entire life when it comes to Torah of Shem quality? That's why I do that series. And now I think you can probably appreciate why I do the voice, right? Because it's not me. I'm not Rabbi Miller. I'm taking it in just like you, you know? So if it's my voice, it's not really right. It's not my lecture. It's not my wisdom. It's him. And I appreciate it as much as you. So it's just kind of fun. I decided to do the Vilna Gaon thing. Again, it's the Vilna Gaon's words. It might be my learning it, but it makes it kind of neutral and takes me out of the equation and lets you guys enjoy the recording as if I'm just a narrator, because that's all I am. All right, that's it for the introduction. You guys ready to roll? Yes or no? Want to? Do you find this informative, what I'm telling you? I'm just kind of rambling on. Do you find this informative? All right. Cool. All right, because you guys don't, it's like backstage pass, you guys don't know what goes on. And, there's questions out there. Why do I do what I do? And, where does it come from? And, here's the back room kind of analysis or knowledge of what happens. So here we go. We already read it in Hebrew. I'm going to throw in some trick questions here. Mishlei students, why did I read it fast in Hebrew to you? Mishlei students, why did I read it fast in Hebrew to you? Yeah, to create fog? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I'm creating fog? I'm trying to be purposely foggy? Is that what you're trying to say? That's right. That's right. So based on what I said last night, I read it fast to accomplish what? I got the fog, but what did I accomplish? Can we go to the next teaching, or do I have to explain something here? Why? I already said it in Hebrew. Obviously, I already know what it is. I know everything. That's my job, to know everything. Remember the answer? David Dome, you weren't here last night. Also, Norwegian guys weren't here. But you'll figure it out in 2 seconds what we're doing, because we don't have the text. Yeah, but also remember, I read Hebrew, Travis. Did I not? Did I read the Hebrew? Do you think I knew a lot of it? Yeah, I knew a lot of it. I know what Shnei Makaymis Begehenna means. Okay, I know what that means. No problem. 2 places in Gehenna. But we ran into at least 2 to 3 words that I didn't know exactly. I probably made a very common, simple mistake, didn't I? So let me tell you where my first mistake is. Now we're in. My first mistake that I did, I have no idea what Shulcha Amuka is. Remember I said Shnei Makaymis Begehem Shulcha Amuka? Remember that? I have no idea what Shulcha Amuka is. None. Not a clue. Lechemda I know. Bishvil Sharatzu Lagbia Atzmo. I know what I'm reading, but I'm still stuck on Shulcha Amuka. I don't know what that is. Uver Tzara Lataiva Bishvil Sharatzu Larchiv Nafsho. I know exactly every word I wrote or read, but I have no idea what it means. Hefcham B'Kedusha V'Yerkvatecha Al B'Masei Aretz. I don't know what B'Masei is. I have no idea. I have no clue. And it doesn't register. And then V'Hachal Ticha Nachlas Yaakov. I'm totally lost right now. Completely lost. Nachla Bli Metzarim Hefich Haber Tzara. By the end, I have no idea what we're doing. Not a clue. So Travis, once again, how did I get so derailed? If I knew most of the words, how did I get to the point where, in all honesty, I have not one clue what we're doing? I can't even begin to tell you one thing of what he's trying to say here. Exactly. And I don't care how strong you are, you're not going to get over it. And Eric Bryan's going to sit there saying, what does Shulcha Amuka mean? But he's too afraid to ask. Maybe he'll get the nerve to ask me. And I'm just going to lie to him. Right? Oh, it's a verse quoted in the Vilna Gaon, Eric. Move on. You don't need to know. Okay, so you with me? We're in and we got problems. We got fog. We reached the fog. We got a lot of problems. We have no idea what we're doing. And this is what happens every time I do my thing. And the beauty is, it's a good thing. It's the best thing. If you think you know what's going on after one read, and nothing bothered me worse in yeshiva than this. Nothing bothered me more. The guy's reading it like, yeah, no problem. I read it. I know Hebrew. I know what's going on. You're too dumb to keep up. You're slow. Let's go. Really? So nothing drove me nuts more than when people would read it like that and pretend like they got it. Because you don't. No one does. It's impossible. And what's my proof? Why people don't have kavanah in their prayers. You know why people don't have kavanah in their prayers? Who can tell me why, David Dome? Why is it impossible to have perfect kavanah in your prayers? David Dome, we're talking to you. That's what the party line is. That is a party line. That's also a party line. Gevora, bingo. Eric gets the prize today. There you go. Eric Carlson, boom. Gevora says a lack of preparation. Why? What does it mean? They don't know what you mean. They don't know what you mean. You're going party line on me. There you go. Travis saves a day with Gevurah. Why not, Travis? Surely they prayed every day, 3 times a day. You don't think I know what the words are after all this time? Seriously? Are you going to insult my intelligence that much? There you go. There you go. Between Eric and Travis, can you guys now see why they are not saying the party line? Between the two of their opinions. There you go. Now you're in. You guys are in. Everybody else, can you see why the party line doesn't work? I'm going to explain it deeper. Ready? David Dome, let's say that you pray Shemona Esrei, whatever you do, and you know the words, and let's take the word Ala Tzadikim. Ala Tzadikim. How many times have you prayed that prayer, David Dome? Ala Tzadikim. Those words, 2 words. Ala Tzadikim. That's it. Thousands. And you know what happened? About 6 months ago, you went to a class, and they told you that the Ramchal says that Ala Tzadikim is like this Kabbalistic Zohar, that it's like the Hasidim Rishonim, and they used to daven 9 hours before, and blah, blah, blah. Didn't you hear that once? Type 1. All right, and then you went to pray after that. You're like, this is amazing. I'm practically the only guy on earth who knows the real intention of all the tzaddikim. Didn't that happen to you, David Dome? Type 1. You're like, I know this. So every day when you went to daven, you're like, all the tzaddikim. You got there. You're like, I got it. And then 6 months went by, and you just have forgotten what the Ramchal said. Didn't you forget? You're like, I know it's there, and it's like the Zohar and this really cool thing and something with a gematria. Mashiach will come. I don't know. All right, okay. Every day, all tzaddikim. If you ask me, I'll tell you it's the Ramchal and the Zohar. I don't really know what else. I concentrate on being plugged in with whoever. That's okay, fine. But here's my point, right? Once upon a time, you got it really clear because you heard an amazing chiddush in some sefer, and then a year went by and you moved on, right? It wasn't fresh anymore. You heard 20 ideas since then. You try to pray whatever you pray. It's easy, like you just said. You keep it in your mind, but the bottom line is you forgot what the words meant. Let's say, and I'm making this up. I'm picking on you, David, a little bit, but I'm just using it as an example. It's Ala Tzadikim ve'Ala Chasidim, right? Now, I'm going to totally make this up from this point on, right? Where you're going to say, you're going to get there in prayer. Ala Tzadikim, okay, the Tzadikim, I got it, Ramchal, Zohar, Mashiach, woohoo! And then David Dome's mind erupts on him and says, hey, David, why do you think the Tzadikim are mentioned with the Hasidim? And David's going to say, wow, Yetzer Hara, that's a great question. Yeah, David, I know. That's my job, is to distract you. And you're like, Yetzer Hara, tell me, what is that answer? I don't know, David. Why don't you just stop praying and find out? Well, I can't, Yetzer Hara, because we're in the middle of prayer and this is all in quantum time. I've already moved on to the end of Shemona Esrei and didn't know what I was saying because I was so interested in your great question. Yes, David, I'm the Yetzer Hara, and I'm very intelligent with that. Yes, you are, Yetzer Hara. What did you think about that Seinfeld episode? I thought that was great, David. Yeah, it was. Yetzer Hara, you are fantastic. I love you, Yetzer Hara. I know. Let's get ice cream. We can be friends. Yeah, why don't you move in? Hey, I got a spare bed. You can spend the night. Have your friends come over. No, I can't do that. We didn't do that since summer camp in 3rd grade. I know, David. The time is great, isn't it? Tell me after 120 how it was, David. Have a nice night. Bye-bye. Sound familiar, David Dome? The point is, what got you so messed up? Because you asked a great question. You allowed that split second to say, What is the tzaddikim and the Hasidim? Travis Armstrong said, David Dome, you should have been more prepared, my friend. Why didn't you learn that in detail before? Right? Why didn't you take Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi's advice when he says the Chazon Ish didn't pray before learning a sugi in the Talmud for that very reason? Because your mind is going to be asking questions, and you shouldn't pray unless you have a settled mind. You didn't take halacha seriously. You follow? So then the bottom line is, if you would have been prepared, then you wouldn't have asked the question. You would have already answered the question. Then you would have prayed a perfect prayer. That's how you're supposed to pray. I'm not saying you guys are going to do that because it's absolutely nearly impossible. Okay? And in fact, it is impossible because tomorrow you're going to learn something brand new and it's going to ask a new question and you're going to get confused again because your mind is always growing. And because you're growing, you're going to get new ideas, new refinement, new development, and you're going to get confused again. Okay. So therefore, when we read in any sefer, any book, whatever it is you're doing, even if you know the words, I think I know what shucha amuka is, okay? A deep pit. Okay, write that down, see if I'm right. Shucha amuka, a deep pit. You got it? One or two. That's like my hip shot guess. Since we were talking about Gehinnom. I'm not sure shucha. I'm positive amuka is deep. But shucha, I remember recently reading that it has to do with hell. Like hell, deep pit, okay? But I'm not going to bet my life on it. I'm not going to throw it over you guys like I know what I'm doing. A little bit of intellectual honesty says, hey, Dave, I really don't know. What do you think? I don't know. Well, can we at least get a dictionary? By the time that happened in quantum time, I was already at the end, and I have no clue what I'm doing. Is there any chance of anything less than fog? One or two. So when you learn, be honest. Now, in prayer, you're not allowed to be honest. You're supposed to be not honest. You're supposed to be prepared, Travis Armstrong says. And you should. You got to be focused and prepared. Okay? Now, if I was prepared for the lesson here, and it was a monologue, okay, how many times when I'm teaching in my lessons on the video do you see me unprepared? You've never seen it. Because I come prepared every single lesson. Right? That's my job. But in prayer, you're supposed to. But the thing is, prayer is much deeper than my YouTube videos, obviously. You're talking to God. And so for that reason, you have mercy on you for not measuring up. But at the same time, you really invest all your Torah life learning how to pray properly in the words. Or as we said last night in Mishlei, getting the keys of understanding. That's it. That's it. You don't have a reason to pray or a reason to take off prayer just because you're not prepared. But if I'm not prepared for class, you might have to cancel. That said, let's go. So the first thing I would do, since we did read through, I'm losing my voice a little bit because we taught for about 20 hours last night. I would now read it again slowly, and this is where you guys come into play. Ready? This is where you guys come in. This is where Batman takes off his mask. We all take our masks off. We admit we have no idea what we're doing, right? Get genuine and be honest. Ready? All right. So now that we have no idea what we're doing, we've embraced the fog. Shneima Kaimis Begehinnom. There's two places like related to Gehinnom or in Gehinnom. Does anybody know what Gehinnom is or not know? One or two. Gehinnom, one or two. Everybody? Eric Bryan. Gehinnom is purgatory, right? It is not Christian hell. It's not Christian hell. Purgatory is when you die, your soul goes through repair, cleansing. It's when you have your revelation of Shekhinah, right? You're going to meet your maker, and based on how your life was, it determines the experience. It's more about the experience of dying rather than some kind of hell, right? You're experiencing death based on your life in this world. They say it lasts, what, David done, what, 11 months, 12 months, whatever it is. And when you're done, basically when you're done shedding your klippah and you recognize God, the highest that your soul root is able to perceive, then you stay at that level of clarity. That's called Gan Eden. Purifying process. There you go. Okay. A little short of breath. That's all right. Shucha Amuka. Lechemda. I have no idea what Shucha Amuka is. So what I'm going to do is look in the commentary. He quotes it, but he doesn't say what it is, which is kind of strange because I would think he would say. Kind of strange. Shucha Amuka. Now, the reason why I'm bothered is because there's quotes around it. It's a quote from something. Who can tell me what book to get off the shelf to find out? Anybody? Anybody that knows my style? What book am I looking for? Concordancia. Thank you. Concordancia. Every word in the entire Tanakh. Concordancia. It's a book you can buy online. Okay, here's the spelling in Hebrew. Write this down. I'm not going to type it. I'm too tired. Ready? Kuf, Vav, Nun, Kuf, Vav, Reish, Dalid, Nun, Sadik, Yud, Hey. Concordancia. Look that up on Google in your spare time. Buy the book. 3 easy payments of $29.95. Travis Armstrong, which word are we looking up? Shucha or Amuka? Shucha or Amuka? Shucha or, there you go. Why? 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 Exactly. We know what Amuka means. It means deep. We have no idea what Shucha means. By all means, if someone knows, please tell. But I'm not confident. So, hey, you are. I'm not. I would like to see some context. He spelled it. Shucha. Shucha. Okay, I'm just short of breath, man. Shucha. It means a pit. Did I say pit? So we're getting there. I wasn't too far off. Okay, it means a pit. Travis Armstrong, you should be looking up right about now. Mishlei 22:14. 22:14. Go ahead. Are you guys crazy? You want to do a crazy move? Who's in the mood for a crazy move? 1 or 2 for a crazy move. You guys want to look up the verse of Mishlei? Oh, man, is that a seduction or what? Is that a nasty seduction or what? And it's a crazy move. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be funny. It is a crazy move. Do you actually want to go there? If you don't want to go there, I won't go there. It's up to you. David Dunn, what do you want to do? You want to go there? Look up the actual verse itself? You know we have to. You guys know very well we have to. All right, you guys got me. What is it? Travis, what is it again? I'm going to get it. What is it again? Tell me again. 22:14. Okay, there we go. Man, I'm really short. I think I'm thirsty. But man, 22:14. All right. Does anybody have a microphone that wants to read it? The style we do for Mishlei in English? Anybody? Anybody? He's not here. Anybody with a microphone? There we go. Go ahead, Travis.
You hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Mishlei 22:14. The mouth of heresy is a deep pit. The scorn of Hashem will fall there.
You're a bit muffled for me. Can you read it a little bit slower? Just on my side, it was muffled a little bit. It's my speaker system. A little bit louder for me? Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
The mouth of heresy is a deep pit. The scorn of Hashem will fall there. Okay,
so it's a deep pit. All right, the mouth of heresy is a deep pit. Aramaic, gumsa. Gumsa. We need to find out what a gumsa is. Rashi says it's idolatry. Travis, is this a metaphor or analogy? That's right. Is that a mashal or a mullitz? A malitza or mashal? There you go. I say kachifira amuka, like a deep pit that you fall into it. It's very difficult to go up out of it. Hine apeh hadobar zarus hafuchus dvarim hafuch haemes b'yuchud b'tichas v'shorshim. Hey, b'dimi and shucha. That's like the image of a deep pit when you speak false words that you fall into it and you have no tactics to get out of it. So here it is. Ready? Here's a good example so far. So, I'm glad we have a nice class here because it reminds me of when I did pilgrimage to India when I was 6 years old, where I was seen as a religious leader. But then I did tshuva and I came to teach the ger. You see that? So now when you tell that little embellishment in the story, I dug myself a deep pit in my little kishuf. So now I have to keep that lie going for the rest of my life. Right, Rabbi Katz, I really connected to your story about your pilgrimage to India. Oh, yes, India was very challenging. It was not easy to eat rice when I was 6 years old. All right, so the rest of my life I have to keep this story going. And they're saying it's very difficult to dig your way out. That's right. I had this idea a while ago when I saw what people that are shysters do. In my opinion, it seems much harder to be a shyster than a straight guy. Right? The guys who are stealing money have to work hard at that. They got to keep the story going. That's too much work for me, man. It's just too much work. Too much. It's amazing how much people do like that. All right, let's see if anybody else talks about it. I think that's about it. All right, so you got it, right? It's a deep pit that you dig yourself into. You know what? This is really sad because we did this last night also. Do you guys realize if we would not have looked this up, we would have no idea what the Gaon's talking about? Do you guys see that now? I'm not even joking. We would have had no idea. Now, I would have said it's a deep pit, but I wouldn't have known the context of the analogy or the mashal. That saddens me. Because it makes me think about all the times I don't look it up, and then I give a shot that's not exactly right. Right? Now, it never ends, because even though we looked it up, it's like, well, did you look up every book that ever was, Rabbi Katz? No, I didn't. But we can already see that by looking it up, we are well beyond most people's understanding of the verse. It's like a Vilna Gaon joke. If you want to know where to hide any secret in this world, put it in a book. This is why the Vilna Gaon is hard to learn. He doesn't say anything. He makes you look up everything in order to get what he's saying. Right? He literally makes you look everything up to get it. Do you understand what I'm telling you here? It's a massive chiddush of the Gra. He is impossible to learn because of this. He makes you work your tail off. If you're going to really get shot, you got to look it up. David Dome, you see this? A very important lesson. Very important lesson. We all fail here. We all have bodies of flesh and blood that we are pathetic, and it makes us fall. And you see how the tikkun? The tikkun is open up the book. It's not easy. Yes, it is, Gevora. To answer your question, it's the failure of studying Rashi. Or at least studying Rashi the way that, without doing it deeply. As shot and upshuto. All right, close Mishlei. Now that I'm embarrassed openly, I'm not being facetious. It's really bad. I was prepared to go on, and we'd have no idea what we're talking about. Now you understand why I take this seriously? It's not fun and games. Well, we can all laugh and have fun and games, but it's not funny. I'm not joking. You see this? One or two. It's not funny. Because I'm going to show you why it's not funny. Right? You translate now, Shnei Makaimis Begehenim Shulcha Muka Lechemda. 2 places in Gehenna, deep pit, so to speak, to materialism. Do you think I have any idea what we're talking about if I don't bring in the Mishlei? 2 places in Gehenna of a deep pit for materialism. I have no clue what we're talking about. None. Sharatza lagbia atzmo, that you want to bring yourself from it. I barely get this. On a scale of 1 to 2 or 1 to 10, maybe 1.5, between 1 and 2. How do you guys feel about that? Scale of 1 to 10, the knowledge going in this is 1 or 2. So just imagine how much Torah we learn from people that present it as 10, and it's really about 1 to 2. And I'm telling you, because I very easily could have just been like, yeah, I know what this is. We didn't have to look it up. And you saw the struggle I went through to look it up. I literally had to be pathetic enough to ask for a vote. So when you're being lazy and you don't have people to help you out, you're going to lose that vote, aren't you? Should I clean the kitchen? I don't know. Do it tomorrow. You're right, Yetzer Hara. Do it tomorrow. You're such a tzaddik anyways, that's like the dramatized version. But the point is, that's what you're telling yourself. But why are you a tzaddik, says your Yetzer Hara? Because you actually believe that you're going to do it tomorrow. You actually convince yourself that for some reason tomorrow is going to be a better day that you're going to do it. Just do it. Get up. Do it. Okay. Now that we know the verse. So, actually, I'm going to take a 2-second break and get a drink because I am really on running dry over here. Okay? So take 2. If you guys want to talk in the forum, please do. Please do. Get to know each other. I'm going to have a glass of water. All right? Right back. All right. So the see the difference? Man, my voice is back. That was really dangerous. I was low. The pit, the deep pit, is you talking yourself into your demise, right? And the seduction of the female is, you can say it's literally a seductive female, or the Yetzer Hara, seduction of any kind. Just that kind of thing. You have a responsibility and your friend says, leave it, let your wife do it. Let's go out and play. Right? You're going to pay for that. So 2 places in Gehenna, Shulcha Amuka, the Chemda. Chemda is materialism. Bishvil sharatza lahagbiya atzmo. Bishvil sharatza lahagbiya. Because you want to lift yourself up. What does that mean? What does that mean? You want to lift yourself up? Any takers? I hear two things. I'm thinking more literal. Remember, we want to be literal in the text first. We're going to get allegorical in the commentary. At least that's my style. When he says he wants to lift himself up, I was a spiritual leader in India when I was 6. Did you know that? Did you know that? Type 1? And I'm telling you that because I'm very impressive. And I want you to know that even at 6 years old, I was an enlightened person. So did I lift myself up? Well, I mean, in my eyes, my intentions of evil were to lift myself up. But then what the Vilna Gaon could be saying is, hey, man, when you think you're lifting yourself up, you're really digging your own grave. Now you got to pull yourself out of the pit. That's also pshat, isn't it, David? So we got two pshatim. You guys agree? We have two pshat here. I lift myself up, and the reality is I got to pull myself out of my own pit when I lift myself up. Okay, and I'm not sure how that works with two places in Gehenna. I'm not sure yet. Uber Tzara Lataiva. Shkoyach. Yeah, shkoyach to you. So there's a well of tsar for taiva, for lust, because bishvil shiraitzi laharchiv nasho, because you want to expand your nefesh, Travis Armstrong. Travis, what's the next step? You already know this one. What's coming out? V. Let's hear it, folks. Let's hear it. V. Hello. Concordancia. Because I don't know what a well of tsar is. We got to find out. I don't know. Let's find out. By the way, the two places in Gehenna, one is called the deep pit, and the other is called the well of burden. So now we got to find out what the well of burden is, probably from King Solomon. What's it called? Be'er Tzara. Wait a second. There it is. All right, everybody, get your Mishlei out. 2327. 2327. 20. Oh, what is that? What happened over there? 2327. Let's go. Everybody, let's go. 2327. Get a move on it. Travis, let's go. Microphone. Hold on, let me get there. Hold on. 23. Whoa, hey. There's two shuchamukas. How do you like them apples, boss? That's even better. Wow, we hit a jackpot over here. Let's go. Go ahead.
For the harlot is a deep pit, and the strange woman is a narrow well.
There you go. This is the verse, guys. The other verse was it was a support for sure, but this is the verse the Vilna Gaon's drawn from. Kishuka amuka zoine uber tzara nachriya. Kishuka amuka zoine uber tzara nachriya. Right. So there's two kinds of improper women, and the Travis had a metaphor or analogy. It is a metaphor, right? A Zona, a harlot, and a Nachriya, a non-Jewish woman. Mashal indeed. So hey, did you guys know I went to India when I was 6 years old? Did you guys know that? So when I did that, and I'm speaking how great I am a Zona, right? That's me being like, yeah, I've done this, I've done that. That's a Zona. It's like someone who's experienced a lot of things in this world, not so pure, right? So when you hear me doing that, that means I've done a lot of stuff that claiming my spiritual enlightenment probably isn't too true. And a well of disaster is a Nachriya, right? And so imagine if I'm a Cohen, a Jewish Cohen, and I marry somebody really not for me by the laws of Torah. And I'm like, hey, everybody, you should take marriage advice from me. I know marriage better than every one of you. See what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I've perverted the Torah in the worst way possible. Okay, so now my curiosity is the Aramaic. Your marriage experience is invalid. Exactly. I think this is the same word. Gumsa. Travis, what was the first verse we did Mishlei tonight? I want to compare the Aramaic. What was the first one we did? 24:14? Was that what it was? What was it? 22:14. 22:14. Yeah, Gumsa. How many of you guys want to know what a Gumsa is? The word for Shulcha. You guys want to know what a Gumsa is? And that's actually the Jastro. We need a Jastro for that one. The Jastro jackpot. And the other word, wait a minute, hold on. Bera, the Aka, Nuchreisa. All right, we know that one. Let me see here, 27. And nothing for Rashi so much. Memory Tavin, Zona. Kabur, Amulka, Shakashemia. All right, the Masuda David is saying also it's very difficult to climb out of. And the immoral marriage thing is, I mean, you can imagine this, right? Rabbi Katz is a really great holy rabbi, and then it comes out he married somebody that's not even Jewish. She's not even Jewish. I'm like, hey, everybody, just kidding about the marriage. I'll do tshuva. I'm sorry, but I lied to you. I'm going to marry a really kosher woman next time. How easy is it for you to believe me now? I did tshuva. I'm sorry. I lied to you. I lied. I should have done something different. Not so easy to dig myself out of that pit. But even still, it's not easy to dig out of that pit. I dug myself a pit that is very hard to get out of. Very hard. Okay, so that's the definition. Let's go. I want to know what a gumsa is. You guys want to know what a gumsa is? Let's get our Jastro jackpot over here. Find out what a gumsa is. Gumsa. Gumsa. It's probably just going to be a pit. Gumsa. What do you think it is, Travis? What do you think it is? Let's go. Hurry up. What is it? What is it? Let's go. Sam Kinison style. Let's go. What is it? Let's go. Hurry up. What is it? It's a pit. Like I said, it's a pit. It's a pit. No big revelation here, guys. Okay, close your Mishlei. Close your Mishlei. Get back in Evan Schleimer. Back in Evan Schleimer. Shnei Mekaimis Begehedim. Shulcha Mulka. I went to India because I'm spiritually enhanced at 2 years old out of the womb. and that is materialism. Why did I lie to you about India? I want your money, right? If I'm going to prove to you that I was basically teaching from the womb, they put a speaker system to my mom's stomach, and I was preaching Torah from the womb. They actually have records of prophecy coming from my home, right? So for 3 easy payments of $39.95, I can sell you those DVDs that you can hear the prophecies of Mashiach coming in our time. Okay? Please send the money, and I accept checks and credit cards. Exactly. But you're seeing my point? Is it a deep pit to dig out of? Is it easy to convince you that I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that? Number one. Will I have to then dig myself out? Rebuild my credibility? Number two. Did I, in fact, want your money when I did it? Chemda, materialism. Is that why I did it? The answer is 1 on all those things. Bishvil shiratzu lagbia atzmo. I wanted to lift myself up. Now, here, Eric Bryan, Torah of Shem moment. What's the Torah of Shem on this? What's the Torah of Shem on this? This is a beautiful idea. Ready? Fastball over the middle of the plate. You guys ready for this one? When you want to lift yourself up, God will arrange the mazel that you will, in the end, have to lift yourself up. Is that cool or what? Give the Vilna Gaon himself a round of applause for that one. How cool is that? When David Dome, when you feel the need to lift yourself up in vain, God will engineer it that you will find yourself having to lift yourself up from shame. You guys like that? that Vilna Gaon scored a good one on that one, man. That was a good one. That was a good one. It's true, right? This is how the Torah of Shem works, right? You want to lift yourself up? Okay, no problem. No problem. Get used to it. You're going to have a long time. Uber Tsara Lataiva. Right? This is the Rabbi Meir. I hate to say it like this, okay? But I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to give you a bad one, all right? The rabbi with the webcam and the mikveh, okay? I'm bringing it up. It was open news, right? The rabbi with the webcam and the mikveh. So for that guy, you got the well of troubles. The well of troubles. It was a famous story. Did you hear about that on the news? The guy actually got busted for that. So the well of trouble is taiva. The Vilna Gaon actually says that, David Dunn, with taiva. That's what it means. Why is the Jewish guy going for the non-Jewish girl? It's only taiva. Okay, she's not that amazing that you need to do this. You're never going to rationalize, well, I realized that we were meant to be together. No, you weren't. Therefore, it's only a taiva. Why now? Trick question. The Vilna Gaon's about to tell you why it's called that. Eric Bryan, what is that? What is the Vilna Gaon about to do? Without looking. I'm not looking in my book. What's he about to do? Anybody? What is the Vilna Gaon about to do? Close. Think Torah of Shem. If I lift myself up, I will be lifting myself up. If I jumped in the well that's difficult to get out of, then I will be jumping into a well that's difficult to get out of. Ready? We'll see what happens. Travis Armstrong, I nailed it. Look at this. Bishvil sheraitzu laharchiv nafsho. You jumped in a well that's difficult to get out of because you wanted to jump into a well that's difficult to get out of. See that? You see that? That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Right? Because the nefesh, the level of soul of the nefesh is liquid. It's your liquid in you. That's right. You got what you wanted, man. Oh, you got it. I hope you did a whole big cannonball, jumped in there. Cannonball, splash, 10-point dive. You got it. You got it. You got it. Nice well of trouble. Jump in. Hey, pun intended, man. Does the mikveh fit here? The mikveh joke? Is that not what that is? It's a mikveh of shame. Look at that. He did a cannonball into the mikveh. You will be paying for that cannonball. The mazel is flying here, folks. Vehefcham b'kedusha. And their opposites are in holiness. Vehir kavticha al b'masei oretz. V'achticha nachus Yaakov. It says Isaiah 58:14. Let's check it out. Ready? 58:14. Isaiah 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 58:14. Oz, tease on. 1 second. David Dome, have you ever made Kiddush before? On Saturday morning, Shabbos morning? Do you know what you say? Do you say this? Do you say this? Do you say this verse that we're doing? Go get it out. Get it open. Get it open. Tell me when you're there. Travis Armstrong, you better be paying attention to this. For those that wish to learn about Shabbos Malacha. Eric Bryan, you better be paying attention just because that's your job until now in Chicago. Gevora, you better be paying attention too, just for the sake of Gevora. And Lars, you're an accomplice to him, so that's on you. And Shannon, you're with Travis. Let's go, David Dome. All right, so how about this? David Dome, would you recognize Kiddush if I read it to you? Im tashi mishabes raglecha sos chatzecha b'yoyim kadshi. The karasa l'shabes oinig l'gdoish Hashem mechubar v'kim yadoi ma'asois dorchecha mimso chavsecha v'davar davar. I know you don't say that, but is it in the Kiddush? Is it in your bencher? Not everybody says it. There's a lot of things to say on Shabbos morning. There you go. Now, David Dome, do you know where that verse is that I just read? Right now, we are in Isaiah 58:14. This is called Torah of Shem, meaning open your eyes, start paying attention to all the things that were right under your nose but didn't know it, Eric Bryan. Ready for this? Ready for Big Kiddush? DD, you ready? If we're reading Isaiah 58:14, David Dome, I just read 58:13. This is the next verse. The point is, everybody in the whole Jewish world knows this verse exists, and they never read the most essential part. Now, how many of you have the path of the just within a hand's reach right now? The Ram calls path of the just. Anybody? Nobody? Let's go. Come on, somebody. No one? All right, so then I'll tell you from memory. How many of you have heard the whatever you call it, Ramchal says that the entire purpose of man is to delight in the revelation of the Shekhinah. You guys heard that? Right? When it's all said and done, the Ramchal said, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go get the book myself. I don't believe in memory. All right, ready? Right back. 1 second. Here we go. Sios Yesharim, Path of the Just, Ramchal. Let's see here. Okay. Viver klal chayvis ha'adam ba'olamo. The general rule of man in his world. 1 or 2. Yesod ha-yesidut, ha-chasidut, shirish ha-avoda. Initial letters, Yud K Vav K. Ha-tamima who simply, she's barer, he should refine, the samis, and become true, atzil ha-adam by man, ma'chu vasoy, the true service, the true refined service by man, what is obligation in this world, and why he tzarek sheyasim mibato. I say that. That's a kind of strange word. See, there's the fog setting in, right? I think it's like that he was placed to gaze, umigamaso. What is this? Coming to see clearly and recognize the truth of his duty in the world. Bekol asher hu amel kol yemei chayev. That all that he's laboring to do all the days of his life. Here's the point I wanted to make. V'hinei ma, I have the English here. I just refuse to use it. V'hinei ma shaharunu chachminu zal. Here the sages have shown us sheha'adam lo nivra, that a man was not created except for, who wants to fill in the blank? Ready? Say it with me. Everyone say it with me. To delight on Hashem and to benefit from the gaze and shine of his Shekhinah. See that? Lehis aneg al Hashem lehenos meziv Shekhinah soy. Shezehu ta'anug ha'amiti, that this is true joy, yada, yada, yada. Now, therefore, that means the Ramchal is saying, at the end of all things, the essence of life is to delight with God. Is that true, based on what we just read? So when we say on Shabbos, im tashiv, if the whole thing in Kiddush, right? If you rest on Shabbos, your foot from going to do the things it wants to do on the holy day, and even despite that, you would call that Shabbos as a delight to the holiness of God. He was honorable and is honored by the actions of refraining from doing what you want to do and saying what you want to say. Then you will delight on Hashem. Travis, keep going with the English and the microphone, with Vakasha. Keep us going. The words of the Ramchal coming true, the essence of everything, keeping Shabbos, delighting on God. What happens next, Travis?
Verse 14 in Isaiah.
But a little bit less muffled, please.
Then you will delight in Hashem, and I will mount you astride the heights of the world. I will provide you the heritage of your forefather Yaakov, for the mouth of Hashem has spoken.
There it is. So I will, so that's the word. It's Lashon Rachav, or Rechiv, chariot, right? I will chariot you. Al Bamasai. How do you translate again? Read one more time now that we're inside. One more time, if you could, please.
Then you will delight in Hashem, and I will mount you astride the heights of the world. I will provide for you the heritage of your forefather Yaakov, for the mouth of Hashem has spoken.
There it is. So the Metzudas David. Wait. Am I stupid? for not knowing what this means? Really? I claim to be a rabbi. I was lecturing in India at 3. Okay? But do you think I'm stupid for not knowing the words? We say that we're supposed to embrace the fog, but can it really be that the words are that hard to know? I mean, seriously. Could it be that I'm just really, really dense? And how do you know if you're dumb or not? How do you know if you're asking a good question or not? How do you know? Maybe I'm asking a really dumb question. And if you go to yeshiva and you ask the question, they'll say, hey, you're pretty dumb for asking that question. And I'll say, oh, so now I should have the ego thing. Well, I went and studied in India at 3. How about you? All right, here's the answer. You know why I'm not dumb? Every commentary here is telling you the definition of the 2 words that we didn't know. Look at this. Mitzuda Sion. Hey, you probably don't know what Vehir Kav Ticha means, right? You probably don't know what it means. Well, let me tell you what it means, he says. Miloshin Rakiva. Vehit Nasut. Like riding a chariot and going up, being lifted on high. Hence the commentary. He's saying, dude, you don't even know. Let me tell you. So if the Mitzuda Sion says, I don't know, then why should I think I know? Is he really wasting his time? He's like, yeah, everybody knows it, but let me just tell you anyways. Then he says, B'mavase. I'm saying, Travis, can you read that like 5 times? I don't get what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. So the Mitzuda Sion will tell you, Inyan Goive, Kamo al Bamesi Av. Elevated or high. Oh, okay, now I know. Now I know. That's it. You're not supposed to know until you look it up. There's something called a pause button, Eric Bryan. Right? A rewind button, Eric Bryan. Right? A slow down button, Eric Bryan. A non-ego, you're not supposed to know everything from the womb. Literally, okay, even though we say you do, but come on, realistically. That's it. Allow yourself to learn. Okay? Allow yourself not to know. And you'll see that you're in familiar company. But Mitzuda Sion says, I'm your friend. I don't know either, man. Let me help you figure it out, because I didn't know either. That's what he's saying. So now I know what he's saying. Then you will delight on Hashem, and I will lift you up onto the great heights of the land. V'ha'achalticha. Mitzuda Sion, help. The Mitzudas David came to help. He says, don't worry, David Katz. I can help you with that. Ratzin Leimer, Lechat Yeh Ha'aretz Asher Nachalti LeYaakov Avicha, Va'amar Yaakov Lefi Shalola Banam Natana Nachala, V'lo Yishmoel ben Avraham, V'lo Esav ben Yitzchak, V'chein Emar V'yamadei Ali Yaakov L'chleik, Le'emar Lecha Oiten Le'aretz Canaan. So it's language of inheritance. I will make you inherit the portion of Jacob your father, because the mouth of Hashem has spoken. Yeshakayich. Now I feel confident. You guys feel good now? You guys feel a little better now? Okay, me too. Thank God. Me too. Me too. All's good in the world. Let's go back to the Evan Shlema, please. Can we go back to Evan Shlema, please? That we're figured out. That's it. So now I feel confident. There's 2 places in Gehenna. One is a deep pit. I'm a guru, okay? And you'll be digging yourself out of that. And then there's, I'm a womanizer for lust. Don't worry, you'll be doing the cannonball, right? And you'll have a hard time getting out of that one. And the opposite of those 2 guys in holiness is Vahir Kavticha Alba Masi Aretz Valchticha Nachas Yaakov. Now I know what that means. The opposite of jumping into the pit, Bubba, and the deep well, I will raise you up on the heights of the land, and I will inherit to you the portion of Jacob. My portion, Nachala Bli Mitzarim, without borders, without difficulties, Hefich Haber Tzara, the opposite of the well of lust. How do you guys feel about that? Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Now, do you really think that I knew what that meant when I read it the first time? One or two. Is there any chance in the you-know-what that I would have known what I was talking about when I read that over? And you can imagine the level of kishuf that I would have to do if I would have tried to teach this. Can you imagine the witchcraft necessary for me to convince you that I know what I'm doing and we're going to just continue? You cop this? Do you sense the evil here? The alternative is relax. Admit you know nothing. Ego's not a player here because this is well beyond no ego. It's just honest. It's just honest. If you don't look it up, I'm sorry, you don't know. How about that for a law? I don't even know if it's humility. I think it's just called being first grade honest. First grade. Okay? If you don't look it up, you just don't know. Even authentic. I think it's just sandbox 101. You know, did you look it up? It's either a yes or a no. It's as simple as that. Right? The rabbi comes in and, hey, everybody, look how smart I am. I read it and this. You know what the first question out of all your mouths should be from now on? No matter what. No matter what. What's the first question you ask a rabbi? No. No. I'll tell you I have a source. Every time I'll tell you that. Don't ask me where I have a source. What's the question? No. I'll show you also. I have no problem showing you. You're dumber than I am. I can witchcraft you all day long. What's the question? By the way, show me is not a question. That is a statement or a command. What's the question? Did you look it up? Did you look it up? Did you look it up? Somebody that tells you I have the answers, I'll tell you a verse. Okay, I would love for you to tell me a verse. Did you look it up? And I'm not asking you to be rude. I'm not asking you to be a chutzpah, okay? I love you. Rabbi, I love you. But I'm telling you, wisdom and experience, there's probably a chiddush that if you didn't look it up, slicha, adoni, ani ohev, but if you didn't look it up, I think you're missing the boat. I'm sorry. I love you. You're a Talmud Chacham, a tzaddik, and a scholar. But if you didn't look it up, slicha, you have no idea what you're talking about. 100%, Travis. And this is not an attack. Okay? It's not an attack. It's just there's too much at stake for messing around. What is it, the difference between what? Looking it up and give a source? Asking you the source, and nobody in the world will tell you that you don't have a source. All right? That's called suicide. If you say a Devar Torah and you say, do you have a source? What am I going to tell you? No? No, Travis, I made it up. Okay, Rabbi Katz, you know everything. Okay. No, I'm going to make it up. Or even if I have one. I learned it in the Talmud. How about that? I saw it in Shul. How about that? It's a Gemara and Bava Kama, if I remember correctly. I might have even written it down. It's in Mishlei. It's in Mishlei. I had a dream. How about this? Did you look it up? What happens if I answer that question? Did you look it up? What happens if my answer is anything but yes or no? Eric Bryan, ask me if I looked it up right now. Go, ask me. What do I have to look it up? I have to tell you if I looked it up? It's a Gemara. It's a Gemara. We learned it last week in Kolo. I have to tell you everything I learned in Kolo. I learned a lot of things in Kolo. The top scholars in Israel learn 20 hours a day in Kolo. You want to ask them where if they looked it up or not? You think they don't look it up? You think we just make this stuff up as we go? How would I, my friend, how would I bring it if I didn't look it up? You think I just dream this stuff up? I make it up as I go. This is the Torah. What do you want? Eric Bryan, take my advice, please. Don't argue with me. You see how you argued with me? You're going to lose. You want to know the right answer? Do you want to know the right answer, what you should have said to me? I'm sorry, Rabbi Katz. I asked you a yes or no question. You did not respond with a yes or no. I'll ask you again. Did you look it up? Yes or no? You see that? That's how you get somewhere in Torah with an answer. Okay? If you're going to ask me a yes or no question, then stick to your yes and no thing. And if I wiggle out of it, that's called a dodge. And I know what I'm doing when I dodge. And so do you. Do not let me dodge. If you're going to ask me yes and no, make me answer yes or no. Now, look, if it's going to stop the whole class, okay, and I'm basically saying, Eric, I'm willing to kill you if you don't drop it, then drop it. But just know, if I take it that far with you, Eric Bryan, you know the answer, don't you? If I have to shut you up in front of everybody, then you will shut up because you're not going to sabotage the class. But just know what I did. And don't ever forget it. Don't ever, ever forget it. Capiche? Now, if I do tshuva, that's something different. If I do tshuva, it's something different. But man, you got to know there's a problem. It goes that deep because you want to know why it's a problem? Because why can't I just be real and tell you? You know, why? Why can't I just tell you, look, man, I'm sorry, I didn't look it up. What are you going to do? Ask for your money back? Are you going to leave? Are you going to take the whole group and say this guy's a shyster, throw tomatoes at me because I didn't prepare well? I'm human. But man, if I dodge you, all the more so if I did look it up, because you're reversing the truth. So yeah, that's the whole point. And you know, you want to hear even a better proof? A better proof? In 2016, what happens if I didn't look it up? And I say, I'm sorry, Eric, I didn't look it up. What's the next step? What's the next step? Guys, I'm sorry, I didn't look it up. Now what? Travis, how? There's no books. We're at somebody's house. We're at a Mary Kay festival, okay? There's no books here. Thank you, Eric Bryan. You ever heard of the internet? Hello, McFly. It's 2016. There's no way you can't look this up. Internet. Okay? It takes 2 seconds. 2 seconds to get on the internet and look it up. And you'll say, Eric Bryan, I don't want to waste your time. What are the chances of this guy not finding a chiddush through a mazel when you look it up? What are the chances of you not finding a chiddush? How about 0? How about 0? you will find a chiddush every time. So if you didn't look it up in the preparation, you didn't look it up now, when Eric Bryan challenges you, look it up. And you know what your job is to be? Encourage. Encourage. Let the rabbi know, hey, man, we're with you. We think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But can we look it up? I guarantee you, if you give him love and kindness, he'll look it up. You'll cause achdus, love, shalom, tshuva. It's just, you know, it's like this. What do you do when you get off an airplane? You hear about this? You're supposed to tell the captain, hey, man, yasher koyach on the landing. Did you know that? It's a true fact. You're supposed to praise the captain on the landing. It's one of those things. Apparently, the captain always takes pride in the landing. You know those guys? It's like, you know, when he lands, he gets a geschmack out of it every time. He knows what he's doing. If he landed the plane well, he knows it. That's right. So when you get off the plane, give him a thumbs up and say, cool, man, you did awesome. That means that you know the secret, you know, like the key from last night. He's like, hey, I got you. You did good. Right? So if the guy is teaching Torah and he's a rabbi, that's right. Give him a thumbs up. Hey, Rabbi, I think you're awesome. Let's look it up. That's what he's paid to do. He's not here paid to entertain you with his suit and tie and song and dance. Encourage him to look it up. If he's teaching Torah, he at least has that going for him. All right, my voice is shot. And we got the point of the Vilna Gaon. We didn't get into the commentary, but it is what it is.